Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. All right. So my question to you is, if you can't lose weight, if you are saying to yourself you can't lose weight, this message is for you. My name's Mark Avens. I'm your Bulletproof Christian Fitness Mentor. Hey, welcome back to my backyard. I haven't been out here in a while just because it's been so hot and so buggy, and I'm going to try to avoid the mosquitoes at all costs. You can hear them. Maybe you can hear the cicadas up in the oak trees over here. They're hiding in the oak trees. So today's conversation, we're going to talk about if you believe you can't lose weight. And I want to help you with what to do about it. It's really interesting because for somebody who struggled with their weight, I've struggled with my weight up and down over the years, more so probably in my younger years when I was in college. Unfortunately, I went into a profession that really kind of pushed me to get healthier and in better shape. But I know there's a lot of you, and maybe you're this person, and if so, this message is directly for you. If you believe you can't lose weight, and I know what happens typically as we get older. Sorry, getting some stuff there. As we get older, it becomes harder. And then it's easy to start to believe that you can't lose weight. And I want to help you right now. It is Saturday. It is the end of August. We're 7 months into the year, 8 months starting up. Another year is going by. And I don't know if you're feeling me on this, but something that I'm feeling is the years are going by faster and faster and faster. And I'll never forget when I was a kid growing up, my grandfather was a farmer. And I remember when we moved into, I was the fifth generation in my house growing up. And I remember moving into my grandfather's house. It was great uncle, and then great grandfather, grandfather, my father, myself. I think it even went back one more generation. My great uncle was a whaling captain, and it was a long story. But here we moved into my grandparents' house. My grandfather still lived there. My grandparents moved in. My dad built an addition on the house. And the point is, I remember him talking to me when I would visit with him as he was in his 80s. And he told me how quickly time goes by. When you get older, it goes by like the years start feeling like months, and the months start feeling like weeks, and the weeks start feeling like days, and the days start feeling like hours. And I don't know if you feel me on this. But what happens over that time, if you believe you can't lose weight, or if maybe you've been struggling, time's going by quicker. But unfortunately, when you go through time, and as it gets quicker, as we get older, that belief becomes stronger. The belief becomes stronger that you can't lose weight. In other words, like, you may have tried a number of things. There hasn't really been a person that I've worked with or spoken to in the past, gosh, I don't know, since I've been online forever, working with people. But even just recently, people that I now specifically work with and coach in my one-on-one coaching program, it's primarily for weight loss. So that's why I want to dial in on this. And, the majority of people, 40s, 50s, a few in their 60s, I work with a handful of people in their 70s. And the big thing is, Mark, I've tried these things and I failed. I don't really have any support at home. My friends are all just used to me. They won't say this, but I know a part of it is that your friends are used to you a certain way, maybe being overweight. So there's this belief that's been built up over the years, over time, and time's going by quicker. So what happens is, not only are you fighting where maybe you've been battling your weight loss journey for, when you're in your 30s and maybe even your 40s, and you started having children, and you either got the mom, you had to break out the mom genes, or you started to feel the muffin top, or the dad bod, and all those types of things, right? So the belief starts to not only build up in your habits of believing that you can't get this weight off, or you've struggled because you've had some success and you put it back on, you had some success, maybe you tried a diet, you tried restricting calories, you tried some fat loss shake, you even tried the extreme method of having bariatric surgery. And, I have a handful of people that I currently work with that have had the extreme, and I say extreme because it's like usually last resort for people having bariatric surgery. You're 100 plus pounds overweight. And I have a handful of people I've worked with that actually have had that surgery. And guess what? It's not so much that surgery doesn't work. It doesn't work to change the belief system that's there. And what happens is, unfortunately, all the belief and all the habits have been built up for so many years overpower anything, even surgery, to the point where you fall back into your body being not the kind of way that you want it, right? Unhealthy, out of shape, overweight. And for the majority of people, now I haven't really met a person that says, Mark, my goal in life is to be overweight, is to be out of shape, is to be what kind of the world is going into. Nobody tells me that. And it is Saturday morning. I'm going to actually share a little bit of scripture with you in just a moment, because I think it could potentially help you in your walk. Now, maybe you're not a man or woman of faith. That's okay. I wasn't either for a while. In fact, I still feel like I'm trying to figure this whole thing out, but I'm trusting God in the process. But the fact is, what you believe is what you're going to become, or what you have become already. So and this related to everything, but let's just dial in on weight loss. What you believe, if you believe that you can't lose weight, if you believe that it's hard to lose weight, if you believe that you just don't know how to lose, or just you can't do it, guess what? You're going to just stay overweight. That's just the way reality is. So my question to you is this, and I wrote some stuff down, is the way that you're choosing, the way you're choosing right now, choosing your choice, the way you're choosing right now, producing the outcome that you desire? Are the choices that you're making right now? Now, if you're overweight, chances are, and you don't want to be overweight, chances are you're making choices in your life, right, that are producing the outcomes that you maybe don't desire, but they're happening, right? So my question is, maybe it's time to make some different choices. And here's what I want to dial into, because it's something that I actually heard a message from Pastor a week or two ago. If you wanted to know kind of where I'm dialed in at church, it's with Elevation Online. And I want to just share with you something in Romans 12. And you may have seen it if if you dig into the Bible. I find my truth. I'll tell you what, this is where I find it, right in here. This is a big Bible. Just so you know, if you're wondering what Bible I read, I got scared. This is my Bible here. I read the Life Application Study Bible, and it's the NIV version. This is a Mac Daddy Bible. In fact, I have to tell you a story with this thing here. I want to tell you a story about that real quick. Is I actually bought this Bible, and it actually sat on my shelf for over a year. I was really afraid of it. It was huge. And it's an application Bible, which is really great because it actually has a breakdown of the scripture, and it shares thoughts of what that is actually talking, who's talking, Paul talking in Romans. So in here, I'm going to share with you, and you can pull it up. It's Romans 12. And this is something that I think could potentially be the difference for you, even if you've maybe, if you've gone through believing that you can't lose weight. Maybe you've been believing it for a long time and you're just accepting it now that you can't get your body healthier. Okay. And I'm not just talking about a couple of pounds, right? I'm talking about if you've let yourself go and you're overweight and you're unhealthy, you're high risk. You're getting nervous now because not only are you heavier than you've ever been, but time's going by quicker, like I talked about, and you're getting older and things are getting harder and your joints are starting to feel it and your body's starting to feel it. Your doctor's telling you things. You're maybe talking about medications, and I want to help you right now. So this is something in Scripture, and it was in Romans 12. And I'll read the preface of it in the beginning of it. So therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Now, this is the verse, or verse 2. Do not, I'm sure you've known, if you're a man or woman of faith, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, let me just chime in. Do not conform to the pattern. Well, do you know, as a coach, as a fitness expert, I'd like to say that I'm an expert. I've been doing this long enough that I can probably self-proclaim myself as an expert, having 25 years in this. And I'll tell you what I see happening in this world is that more and more people are conforming to the ways of the world, in essence, when it comes to where our bodies are and how we're treating our bodies. And as it's no surprise, if you go into any kind of research and literature on obesity and people that are overweight and severely obese, and it used to be maybe 20% 10 years ago or 25%, you can literally go look up the statistics of what maybe 40 years ago, and my grandfather, back in his days and my parents' days, and look at how many people were overweight and obese, not taking care of themselves. Their bodies were out of shape and overweight, versus now, like the reality is in 2030, over 50%, 1 in 2 people are going to be considered obese. So when I say that, there is a conforming going on when it comes to your body and it comes to weight. And biblically speaking, now I know this is not necessarily directly related, but I like to think when in scripture is saying, do not conform to the patterns, that's all patterns of this world. And I'm not even talking about the politics and the news and all that. We're talking about you. Patterns of this world is we're becoming an unhealthy world, right? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Here's what I want to dial in with this. Good morning, Tiffany and Wendy. Hey, I appreciate you for being on here. Thank you. If you're catching this on a replay, thank you. I hope this is valuable on the Saturday morning. If you are, especially if you are struggling and feel like you can't lose weight. And I say losing weight, like getting yourself healthy in a healthy weight and being able to do the things that you want to do and being able to wear the clothes that you want to wear and have the confidence in your body that you want, and to not be a high risk and to not be on medications and maybe be easier on your joints as you're getting older. But what I love about this verse in 12:2 is of course, the do not conform to the patterns of this world. Well, as men and women of faith, one of the things we can do is put our faith and trust in the world and live worldly or live according to what God and directed from God. Like when you point your eyes towards God and you start to learn from him and listen to him and dig into scripture, you realize that when you're doing that, you're removing yourself more and more away from the world. And that's why it's kind of weird and hard, at least for me as a Christian man, is that when you try to separate yourself, because we are separate, when you try to separate yourself from the world, it's hard because there's a lot of conforming going on, if you can get my drift. But what I love about the second part, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that's where it goes back to this belief. If you believe you can't lose weight, guess what? You're not going to ever lose weight. If you believe you can't get in the best shape of your life at 50, guess what? You're not going to get in the best shape of your life after 50. So what to do about it? Well, if you've been struggling to do this on your own for your entire life, call it, maybe it's the last 10 years, or maybe it's your entire adult life. If you've been struggling, chances are it's not because of the food or the workouts, it's because of the mind. It's because of the belief that you believe that you've been surrounded by an environment, a community, or people, or relationships, or even your own worst, being your own worst accountability partners, realizing that, like, over time, these habits have been built up, believing you can't lose the weight. And again, my question to you is the way that you're choosing right now, the way that you're choosing right now, your choices, producing the outcome that you desire. Now, how do you know this? Well, the reality is you step on the scale, and if you're 50 pounds overweight or out of shape and unhealthy, you're going to feel it. You live in your own body, right? And chances are it's the choices that you're making, and chances are the choices that you're making is because of the belief. That belief that's maybe built up over time, and it's a struggle. It's hard to do this on your own. If losing weight was easy, if it was as simple as having a gym membership or having a nutrition plan or having a workout plan, Mark, people tell me all the time, I don't need a coach. I don't need the help. I know what I need to do. I know how to eat. I know that I need to eat healthy. I know that I need to exercise. But guess what? It's here. The belief is you've been believing this pattern that you can't lose weight for so long, and now it's going by quicker. Time is going by quicker. And guess what? It's causing you to, again, build that, not only just build the habits, the belief that you can't lose weight, that time's going by quick. And guess what happens? Then the world is saying, hey, just eat whatever you want, supersize it. You're beautiful just the way you are. You watch more Netflix, watch more news. Instead of riding a bike, get on an electric bike. Instead of going for a walk, get on a golf cart and take a golf cart. Again, this is not knocking, because they're all fun things, but it's kind of crazy in this environment here, beach environment, and it's outdoorsy, right? It's beautiful outdoors, and we have the beach right around, just a block away here. And I see more people that are doing less and less to do stuff to get them healthy. Instead of riding bikes, they're getting on electric bikes. Instead of walking, right? Instead of walking, they're getting on golf carts. Instead of, doing things where they have the ability to. They're just sitting on the couch. Don't get me wrong, I like a Netflix binge every once in a while, but I like the way my body feels when I'm taking care of myself. The hard thing is you have to transition that belief system, right? You have to be able to, instead of conform to the patterns of this world that's telling all of us to just sit back, to just let the world go by, things will be good. You can just let your health care, you can just let your healthcare go to crap, because then you can get free insurance. You can get free. That's not the case. There's a lot of things that ends up costing you if you just kind of let it go to the side. And when it comes to losing weight, the unfortunate thing for a lot of us is we're just conforming to the patterns of what this world is doing. And I would encourage you is to think, you can go to this verse and you can dig into it a little bit more, is to think about the transformation that can happen in your body. But it's got to start from here, the transformation from the renewing of your mind. And as a man of faith, what I think of, what helps me most transform my renewing of my mind is what is sitting on my lap right now, is right here. It's Scripture. It's Scripture. It's digging into the living Word. It's truly something. Now, and after that, it says, then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. Now, if you're trying to live according to God's will for your life, that's about a transformation, not a confirmation. So again, when you're conforming to the patterns of the world, you're actually more separating yourself from God in that situation. I hope that makes sense to you. And here in that last part, then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. Right now, I know the weight loss journey is not going to be perfect, but it will be when you get yourself, if you already got yourself right with God, that's awesome. But taking care of the one body that he went to the trouble to design specifically for you, just one, when he knit you in your mother's womb and he created you fearfully and wonderfully made and made you and gave you that kind of value, like that should be enough to realize that conforming to this world is not the direction to head in, but more transforming in your mind, believing in yourself, getting around people, maybe having the help that you don't have now, getting the help that you need so that you can actually be around other people, other men and women who are also transforming their minds and transforming their bodies and transforming their lives. And that's part of what my coaching program does in my inner circle. And I know I've reached out. If you haven't heard, I'm doing a training. I'm giving you an access. I'm giving you actually access to come inside my inner circle next week. We do a weekly live training where we have other men and women of faith, strong faith, not so strong, some with no faith. But again, we have men and women on a similar path to try and get that transformation, the body transformation, but also the mind transformation, and believing that we're on this path, not according to the world's way, but according to God's path for your life. So if you want to be a part of it, let me know. I actually think we're sold out. I have to double check with my team and make sure there may be a couple of spots left. But with that, I hope this message helped. I hope when you are in this path of weight loss, if you're still on this weight loss journey, is you got to ask yourself, what are you believing in right now? Are you believing you can't lose weight? Because chances are, if you're believing you can't lose weight, then you're not going to lose weight. And chances are the belief system comes from conforming to the ways of this world, rather than transforming in your mind. And sometimes that needs some work, especially if it's something you've been struggling for a lot of years. So anyway, if you want some more information on what I do, if you want to see if you would be a good fit to work in my program and we'd have a chance to work together, we can talk about it, have a conversation, we could sidebar. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing, blessed weekend. And I hope you have that renewing of your mind and that body transformation so you can get the weight off and you can just avoid continuing to conform to the patterns of the world to keep you stuck in this weight loss battle. It's time to get off the weight loss journey. If you want to get off the weight loss journey, you have the ability to. You got to believe it, all right? Take care and God bless.